What's up, guys? It's Missy. I'm back with another SimCity Build It video. Today we're going to be showing off some people's designs that we've acquired over the last 4 years. As you can see here, it shows the date that the album was made, back in June 2018. Over the course of basically 4 years, we've taken screenshots of cities that we've seen on the global market. We've grabbed them from Reddit, Facebook groups, all that stuff. So it's very possible that you see your design in this album and you're like, oh, hey, how'd they get that? Well, you put it out there somewhere, and that's how we got it. So if for some reason you want to add a tag to your album, like your name or whatever, do that before you post it to the internet, okay? So this is purely just to show people ideas for designs and show off things that we find to be interesting. So this album, as you see here, there's a bunch of names up at the top, little circles. The way that this works is I made the album, okay? And I take that album link and I share it and I make it an open album, making it to where you guys can add your photos if you want to. All you have to do is click the album link and click join. Then you will get notified every time somebody adds pictures to it, and you can come here and you can add photos to it that you find on Reddit, Facebook. They're your designs, maybe they're not your designs. I don't really care. If you want to add in your ideas or whatever, please do so, okay? So we're going to flip through this and look at some of these designs, because some of them have gotten pretty good over the last couple of years. Mainly since they put out the design challenge, people have taken a lot more interest in designing, which is what my ultimate goal was when I first started my channel. Now, some of these are my designs, some of them are not. I'll tell you when my designs come up. So right now, these are mainly just random designs that either I have added or someone else has added. Now, when you click on the album, it should say someone's name at the bottom of the picture, whoever added it. So if it says Princess, that's my Google name on the account that I used to open this album. So that would be something that I added specifically to the album, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's my design, okay? I do not watermark my designs because I don't care. Like, I don't want to ruin the design by watermarking it a whole bunch of times. And if I only watermark it in the bottom corner, then it kind of defeats the purpose. If somebody wanted to steal my design, then they would just be able to put a sticker over it anyway. So it's not that big of a deal, okay? It's just a game idea. I just wanted to put out some ideas for you guys. Like, for example, this design here, it has an interesting feel to it. So see how the water is just perfectly straight? I've never been a fan of that type of, water in this game, but I will say that under certain circumstances, it can look pretty decent if it's like maybe like a Paris type layout and it's got, channels of water that just flow like in a pattern or something. I've seen some pretty cool designs like that. I've never been a big fan of the roads, but again, under certain circumstances, they can look decent. Now we have the design roads, with the pink trees and the gravel roads and everything, and it can make it look a lot better than just these ugly Omega roads. Okay. One thing that I do when I design is I don't put a lot of roads everywhere. Like, if it doesn't require that much road, I don't put that much road. I only put what it requires, and then I try to hide the road, usually. Again, everybody's got a different design style, so that's just my personal opinion. I also think that a little of the yellow trees and the green trees goes a long way, so when you do things like this, it's a bit much. And that's a bit much. But again, some people really like the all of one thing. Like, some people use those little parks with the water right in the middle. They use a ton of those. I think they're more so trying to flex how much they've spent. I would recommend if you are playing legitimately and you're trying to do something like this, that you wait until Black Friday and buy this stuff when it's 50% off. It does look really cool at night. I will give them that. It would look a lot cooler if they used the larger green diamond right in the center. The park with the large green plumb bob diamond. Okay, that's hideous. Okay, see how the water right here is missing? Pay attention to that when you guys design, because unless you're in the design menu, sometimes it can be hard to see exactly where you're missing water. Sometimes you don't have to put as much water out there. It's like sometimes it just kind of, it looks okay, but other times it does stuff like that and it looks terrible. Christmas stuff. This one looks really cool, I thought. Not a big fan of this at all. I don't like the super tall buildings blocking everything. Yeah, definitely not a big fan of that. I mean, it's not terrible. At least they're trying, and like I said, everybody's got a different thing, but definitely not. What the hell? Why the hell is there somebody's cat in here? People, seriously? Unfucking believable. Okay. Yeah, I don't know who that is. Yuck. Yeah, that's ugly. That one's kind of cool. It's got the water going down the middle. That person at least, you know, put forth some effort. This guy's is pretty cool, actually. These heart balloons, I only have 2 of these, I think. No, I think I only have 1. I can't remember. I can't remember if I got one last year, too. I know I have at least 1 of them. But they come around in the month of February for Valentine's Day, along with the parks right here in the middle, right there. So if you get both of these parks, they make the heart. This is actually 2 separate parks right here in the middle. Okay, see the water here, how it's up against the road on the left? That looks terrible. Ah. Oh, wait, let's go back. I'll show you something. Okay, see how it shows the name at the bottom corner of who added it? It's got like squiggle, squiggle, squiggleton. I can't read that shit. So I want to make it very clear, nobody's stealing anybody's designs here, okay? These are all just taken from a public source, whether it be that you advertised your stuff on the global market and somebody screenshotted it, whether you put it on Reddit, Facebook, whatever. So if somebody snapped a screenshot and put it in here, I would just take it as a compliment. It means they liked your design enough to show it off. But don't be surprised if you see your stuff in here. And if you don't see your stuff in here and you want it to be in here, like I said, just click the join button and add your photos in here, along with whatever photos you have. If there's duplicates and you know there's duplicates, then you can go ahead and remove the ones that you already put in. Okay, this one looks kind of cool. It's just kind of weird. There is a lot of photos in here. Okay, so this one might look familiar to you guys. Notice anything? Definitely my city. Before I went all crazy and really filled it. This was what it looked like probably 3-4 years ago. It was very basic, but the same general layout, as you can tell. I had the water going up and around the back here, with the middle island like that. You'll see my city in here a lot because I just take screenshots of it as I change, you know, make big changes to it to keep track of things that I've done. Again, this was when they added the regional trees, and I was able to start buying those, so I started trying to get those all around my city. I had to unlock the rest of my maps before I could get the rest of the trees, but you get the general point. Okay. Skip past my city here. All right. That one's upside down. That one started looking okay. It drives me nuts when they do the shops backwards and put trees up against roads. It drives me crazy. That one looks cool. I like when they use a lot of the trees in big clusters like that. See what I mean? So if you guys are having a hard time coming up with ideas, like I said, flip through this, see if there's anything that you like. You can also watch some of my design streams. I give you guys a lot of ideas in there, ways to make stuff look better. If you click on my channel and you click videos, you have to click on the live videos that I did. There's hundreds of them of just live streams where I just designed. Okay. That looks like my city. Yeah, that's my city. Skip past this. That's not. Okay, so here, if you build Omega, as you can see, you need a lot of Omega services to cover all the Omega houses. So if you're going for high pop only, if that's your main goal, use the Omega services for epic projects. They're going to convert to more population overall, because you'll need less services for the epic projects, which will in turn leave you more room for houses, which will boost your population higher than it would if you had Omega. That's hideous. Yeah, too many roads. Way too many roads. That just looks, see what I mean by that? It just looks weird to me. Nothing's really lined up. It looks like they just kind of half-assed it. Like they just kind of built as they went. See how like this house here on the left has no alignment with the park here, and then it's got a road that doesn't need to be there with all these trees, and yeah. No, I'm good. Okay, these require zooming in. We're going to skip past that. This is what I mean by hideous. When they put the water up against the roads like this, that's just terrible looking. See how when they put the water up against the buildings along the sides? Normal water would not do that, you know? You wouldn't just have this flood going through right up against a business like that. It just looks bad. Okay, again, this looks bad. That one looks terrible. It looks like somebody just came in here and flooded the whole place. Like, see how this one road from the bridge goes up and around? It's got one square of water that just... You see what I'm saying? It's just ugly. Like, why would you even think that that looks good? Okay. Sometimes I wonder if these people actually try, if they really think this looks good. I don't know. Like, I'm not trying to be mean to anybody. It just, it looks bad. I don't understand. All right, that's my city. And let me tell you, when I first started playing this game, it was terrible. My city was probably the worst city ever made. I had roads running into houses. People, all of my people moved out. It was terrible. I had no clue what I was doing. It was bad. Here's a picture of the parade, that swamp parade. It's got the ghosts and the pumpkins that go up and around. Whenever you do a layout where you have the parades, you want to make sure that you have them set in a position where they have enough road to march. But not only that, where you can actually see the parade. You don't want to put the parade in a spot where it's like covered in trees or something and you can't see it. That defeats the whole purpose. See, like, there's the parade for the, I can't remember, mechanical yard. I can't remember the name of it, but it's got the, I think it was for like season 1 or 2, if I remember right. 2. Okay, this was my city when I decided to put a break in the roads that went here and try to flow the water down. See how terrible that looks? Definitely did not like that. Okay, here's where I decided to go. I was going to try to make something on this side of my city with like a really dark, swampy graveyard look to it. So I put all the dark mountain homes over here and I just started using only dark trees. Didn't last very long. Let's just put it that way. Skip past my city here. There's a picture of it the other direction. We already saw this. This is what it looks like when you go way overboard. I had my map like that as well when I was trying to get enough population built up. This actually looks kind of cool. If you can do circles like this, do certain designs. I have a really hard time making these walls into something cool. Like, I've seen some cool designs with them, but because you can't put the trees and the water right up against the wall sometimes, I could see how this would look good on maybe the cactus map or something. If you were to put like 1 or 2 pieces of a wall and like broken off and then have another 1 or 2 pieces of the wall broken off like adjacent from that, you know, it would look decent, but it can be difficult to make that look good. So don't feel bad if you're having trouble with those. I don't know what the hell that is. Oh, that's somebody who used to be in my group. Ugh. That person was a nightmare. Okay. You'll start to notice a huge difference in designs once we get closer to the end of this album. There is a lot of really good ones. You can just see the difference in how people design and play based on the way the game changed and the overall motive changed, I guess. Let me go down to the bottom of the album. We're going to be here all week. Let's see. There's a lot of designs in here. Okay, so this one I think is the last one that was uploaded, so we'll just go backwards. Now, this one has a pattern to it, you know, like they've got the 2 yellow bridges on each side. They've got the plumb bob diamonds on each side. They're trying to do some kind of symmetry with this. It looks good. You know, a lot of designs are like that, it seems like now, because the design challenge favors that. It seems like the winning designs always have that mirroring design effect, you know, where the one side looks identical to the other side pretty much. This one, you know, it looks good. They all look good. It's just some of them look better than others. This one, to me, it looks good, but it looks kind of weird with the way that the water is so... I don't know if they were going to make it look like a flower, maybe? It's kind of what I thought, you know, with the middle, and then the perfectly round petals or something. I don't know. This one looks cool. I actually like this statue thing that they gave us. They should do more stuff like that, I think. This design, the only thing I would change about this design is, see how the water goes in between the 2 pieces here? Like one pond. It looks weird, if that makes sense. And it just doesn't match the colors on each side of it. So on each side, the colors are, you know, bright and red and orange and yellow and whatever. outside. To me, it just looks weird, you know? Again, I would change how many yellow trees are right up front. That looks kind of weird to me. I mean, here you have this, it looks kind of like it's supposed to be maybe a heart. Of course. But I don't know what the hell they were going for right here when they did the walkways. They did 4 walkways right in the middle, which just kind of looks weird. Then they did these 2 here with the vineyards or whatever. It just looks really bad. It looks like he just put those out to kind of see what they were looking like, and then he just left them there, you know? I would take those couple things out and try to shift the water around with some more of a natural look for the trees, and then it would look better. Okay, this one, it's a good effort, you know, at least they're trying, but it just doesn't have any, how to explain this? It doesn't have any, style to it. It's just kind of like you barfed out your menu, you know? You've got the one of each pond on each side, which just looks weird. And then you have the Easter stuff there, which, okay, fine. Got the Easter stuff there. But then you've got, like, these casinos on the or whatever, that dance club on the right, and then you've got, you know, casino on the left, and just there's no rhyme or reason for any of it, you know what I mean? It just kind of just looks weird to me. But it's not the worst thing I've seen, that's for sure. This one looks really good. Although I would probably change some of it, because, you know, like with the way the Tokyo Tower is and the Eiffel Tower, and you've got the 2 of each Omega universities, I think it's a bit much doing doubles of everything, you know, like that. Maybe 1 of each of those would have been good. It's hard to say because you can't really move the design around. From this angle, I mean, it doesn't look bad at all. It looks decent. It's just interesting. One, I don't know. I don't know if I like that one that much. This one is really good. You know, they did a really good job on this one. They've got the water coming out from the beach, making it look kind of natural. They put the water coming up. They've got the walkways over, and then they put the trees or whatever in between. They matched up the colors when they went from, you know, bright to kind of more dull. They've got the big bridge right there in the middle. You know, they paired it up on each side, so that looks good. The bridges along the back are angled in a way to make a design that matches up with the right-hand side. So overall, this design is actually really good. They did a good job on that one. This one is a little plain. You know what I mean? It just looks like there's stuff missing. Looks like they started and they didn't get finished, but overall, they had a decent idea going. This one here, I mean, no, I'm sorry. It seems like they did this to get votes, but they didn't want to put forth much effort. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? Like, I have a hard time believing that they really tried on this. It just, all they did was draw, you know, a square basically, put some bridges down the middle, throw out some sports stuff, and then flood the place. Okay, this one, same concept. They'd put more effort along the backside, but what confuses me about this photo is they took it backwards, for one. Or so it would appear they took it backwards. Like, when you're submitting something into a design challenge, why do you have your casinos facing the opposite direction? You've got your carnival thing facing the opposite direction. Then here you've got this walkway that leads to these walkways that make no sense. Okay, it just looks tacky. Right up against a road that you don't need. To me, this was very poorly designed. And again, you guys, I'm not trying to be mean to anybody. If you see me saying something bad about your design, it's meant to be constructive criticism. I'm not sitting here like, oh, you're just such a fucking idiot. You know, it's not like that at all. So please don't take it that way. It's just, I'm just judging the design based on the design. It has nothing to do with you personally. I don't even know who made half these designs anyways. You know what I mean? It's just, I'm just looking at it from a designing aspect. Here, this map is very hard to make look good because of how dull some of the buildings look when they get snowed on or whatever, and because of the shape of the map. So I always like seeing designs of the Frosty map where the Frosty map actually looks decent. If you have any of those or you come across any of those, please put them in here so I can take a look at them. Okay, this one. It's not bad, but could have done a lot better. This one is pretty good. You know, they've got the one thing I would change about this is the center. The center, to me, looks weird. First off, when you take these photos for the design submission, you're taking the best angled photo that you can. That's the idea, right? So this is what they determined to be the best angle of the design that they made. And as you can see here, you can't even view the front of the club thing. Why? And you've got the two ugliest buildings on each side of it. That's weird to me. They could have done a way better centerpiece for this. Overall, though, the idea, the layout was good. It's just they should have. The walls look decent, and let me tell you, that is no easy task. They've got the vineyards and stuff here right in the middle where the wall is. That's the one complaint that I would have about this design, is that looks really bad. Looks really tacky. The random snow trees that you put right here, that looks terrible. Doesn't fit in the layout at all. There's nothing snowy about this design, and then you just have this one snowy patch. I would not have done that. But in general, the idea of this layout is pretty badass. You know, with the guy here in the middle and all that. Just imagine if you were to put forth more effort into a layout like that, it would look pretty cool. This one looks really good. I like how they did the trees kind of by themselves, spread out all throughout the water. It's something different. Here we've got the four, the whatever, water parks or whatever. The middle piece is the one piece I would change, because you can barely even see it. And quite frankly, it's a hideous park to begin with. I would have done probably something like maybe animals in the middle to match up with the trees or something. I don't know. Just not that. I think that's like is that a baseball field? I can't even remember what park that is. Something weird though. Okay. This one is yeah. It's okay. You know, it's one of those things where you can tell they tried. You can tell they tried to use the walls. But overall, it just doesn't look very good. It's got, you know, for some reason, people haven't figured this out or something. I don't know. But see these walls right here in the middle? These two? When you use 4 of them, it actually completes it. So it curves the pieces on the sides. See how they drop off and they look straight on the sides? It doesn't do that when you have 4 pieces. So you have to use at least 4 pieces to make it look natural. Okay, this one is pretty decent. Although up here in the top right corner, they've got some buildings that don't match up with their layout, but overall it's decent. This one, it doesn't, I don't like the bridges, the red, whatever these bridges are, they look weird. Now, on a design challenge, it's not such a big deal when you don't have a road on the parks, but when it's going to be your, map or whatever, it makes it really annoying when you have that road notification constantly there. So a lot of these designs are, made purely for just a quick snapshot. They're not really meant for being laid out on your screen unless you like those annoying notifications. Okay. This one looks really good. I think this was somebody in my group, if I remember right. Maybe not. I can't tell, but this one is really, really good. They did a really good job at, making everything kind of flow. They've got the 2 bridges there that kind of, go up and down. They did a really good job making it look good. This one's really good as well. I really like the way they did the design, although I would change the walls. See how the one wall on the right is beach and the other one has the tall towers or whatever? That doesn't match. In fact, the beach one makes it look tacky. If you would have matched up the exact walls that you have on the left as you do on the right, it would be, close to a 10 out of 10. You also have the casino here. This one here is facing us. This one over here is not facing us, so that looks kind of weird. And just in general, that overall the design is really, really good. Like I said, I would just change those couple of things. One tip that I have for you guys, anytime that you guys are designing, look over your design and look at anything that you can change that would make it look better. Anything at all. If you see anything there and you can say, I can make that look better, you should try to make it look better. This here, again, it was a good idea, but it just looks weird with the walls doing that. And with the yellow trees. I'm not really sure why people keep doing that with the yellow trees, because it looks terrible. But just having one line of yellow trees when the rest of your design doesn't match up with it at all, it just doesn't make sense to me. I could see if you tried to brighten your design up and you added in some yellow trees, that would be okay. But this just makes it look like, I don't know, tacky, I guess. This one, it was a really cool idea for the roads with the bridge the way that it is. I could totally see using this type of layout in the right sequence. It could look really good. This is a really badass design. Okay, obviously we're not talking about the big patch of nothing right here on the left. But in general, they've got the water, they've got the bigger body right around the bridge, they've got a nice color scheme with the trees. The houses are arranged in such a way where they look decent. The only thing that I would change about this is, again, this walkway right here in the middle. Right there, the one that it kind of blocks the name, and it looks weird going over the 2 roads. I get what they were going for, but it just doesn't look good. It just doesn't. Okay, this one is really good as well. I would probably change the trees right here that block this from connecting, the river from connecting. They've got like one river going down and they've got the ones on the sides. That's when zoomed out, but when you zoom in, it looks kind of weird. This one is really good. It's shaped like a heart. It's got, you know, alignment for both sides. The only thing I would change is how much green. He just did like a V of green trees. I would have probably done something, maybe the short, light ones in between, like done a tall one, light one, tall one, light one, and maybe done it like that, because it just, again, with the V shape, a lot of the people from this group, and I don't know if they're friends and they conversate or they're looking at other people's designs and they're taking up their ideas and whatnot. That very well could be the case. I don't know. They're all from the same design group, though. So I'm assuming that's what's going on. And just a tip for you guys, it just doesn't look good when you have the big V shape with the same exact trees all in one line. Unless you were doing something like a complete heart with all the same exact trees or something. Then I could see it looking good. This one looks decent. It's got the stuff around the edges, although I probably would have done something different right up top. This one is really good. This one I really like. They did a, they've got the, hold on. Okay, they've got the buildings up at the top. The only thing I would change is these pillars here. For some reason, people have been using these a lot, and I really don't know why, because they don't look good. Or maybe they think they look good, but they don't. Here, they've got the, a lot of the desert-style stuff. When you zoom out, it flows, you know, it looks decent. So that one they did a good job on. Okay, right here. What's the first thing that you see when you look at this design? What's the very first thing that stands out to you? Because I know what stands out to me when I first look at it. The big line of green trees shaped like an M. That's the very first thing that my eyes catch. Overall, this design would look so much better if that was not like that. See what I'm saying? If it was more fluctuated. If it was evenly dispersed. Right now, it's just kind of this, like, it looks like somebody took a design that was supposed to flow, and they took a highlighter This one looks really good as well. Okay, this one, the roads look kind of tacky. The vineyards up at the top right and the left look completely out of place. The red bridges don't fit. But overall, the layout wasn't bad. You know, if they would change those couple of things, it would probably look a lot better. This one, no. I mean, it just looks weird to me. You know, they've got the desert style stuff down here at the bottom, and then the color changes, and then changes again. And it just, to me, it just doesn't look right. They've also got, you know, each side. You want to try to have some form of some form of idea that you're going for, you know, like keep all the Halloween stuff together or the Christmas stuff together. You shouldn't be mixing Easter stuff with Christmas stuff and Christmas stuff with beach stuff, and you know what I mean? Just barfing out your whole menu. Now, there are times where you could be building like a amusement park or something, and you could have rides that are for Easter and you know, whatever. But that's not really what's going on here. It's just complete disarray. This one is pretty decent. It's an interesting idea. It's definitely something I haven't seen before. Again, with the walls, anytime I see the walls, I really look at what they did and how they made it look good. It doesn't seem to be aligned 100%, but overall, it doesn't look bad. This one looks really good. They have a really, even though they have a lot of roads, they have a lot of the same color scheme. You know, nothing is like a big highlighted M right in the middle or something. Like it looks good. This one looks really good as well. See what I mean? Like even though they're using all the green trees, they're using it in a complete circle, like a centerpiece, so that it doesn't look as bad. And then they've got the dark trees to accent it, and then they've got a couple of the light ones around to make their highlight points. So overall, they didn't do bad on that one. Okay, this one is odd. Very, very, very odd to me. Not really sure what they were going for here, but it looks like they were going for like a rustic kind of campground, middle of nowhere look on the beach. But then they put all these like walkway things out here and it just looks weird. Okay, we talked about that one already, I think. Or it's the same general thing. This one, is really good. It really is. Although, I would have continued on with the Omega bridges along the back where they did the yellow bridges. I think it would have looked better with just having the highlighted blue go all the way down. To me, it looks like the front of the design is, you know, blue and the backside is yellow. Like it just doesn't flow, you know? It would have looked better if they would have just made it blue all the way down. Okay, this one here. It's not bad. Just an interesting choice of buildings, I guess. Overall, I would change these two side by side right here. They've got the vineyards right up against the entrance to this building. And then this building just doesn't match up. The one with the bushes, and overall it looks kind of weird. Okay, this one here, I actually really like this one. It's got more of the pink look to it. It's got this princess castle. But, you know, they've got another thing, you guys, when you use these water pieces, or like buildings that have water in them, it's good to put those around water and then put trees around it or whatever to try to make it look decent. Always look at the way you're facing your buildings and look at what you can see beyond the building. You know, try not to block buildings that are behind it, or if you're using trees, try not to put tall trees in front of short buildings or vice versa. This one is an interesting layout, although I would not have picked the blue bridges because it doesn't match the trees. It doesn't match the layout. If they were going to use blue bridges, they should have used the ones like they used along the back. But in my opinion, the red ones over here would have looked better than the Omega bridges. And you will also notice that they have buildings kind of facing the wrong direction. They've got a big cluster of dark trees that doesn't match with the rest of it. Overall, the only thing is to just change out a couple of those things. One thing that you can do is when you have your design mainly done, just pick up the bridges and change them out for a different style and see which one looks the best. You would be surprised how much a design can change its overall appearance just based on one set of trees or one set of bridges. The overall layout is the same, but it can change dramatically. And that's something that you can really see when you look at my main city designs, like my capital map, because I've had the same general layout, but it looks so much different based on the way I turn the screen or the way that I lay out the trees and the buildings. Okay. Let me see how much time we're at. We're at 48 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and end this and start a second round because there's so many designs, you guys.